I actually am surprised that this is one of my favorite books of the year. I didn't expect that going into it. Hello, beautiful people. It's Aislinn. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to just really quickly run through my favorite books of 2019 because it is the last day of this year and this decade, which is hard to believe. I did take a little bit of a break from social media and filming and stuff for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, just to spend time with family and kind of relax and not stress myself out with having to do that. So I'm back, beautiful, whatever. I will also have a like January slash 2020 reading plans video, hopefully coming tomorrow or this week with the first week of January. But I did read 42 books this year, which was a lot more than I expected to. I really only had aimed for 30, and I, to me, well overachieved that, which I'm pretty proud of considering I did go back to school in a new program, had to adjust to commuting really far, and that was a lot to take in, but that really helped with my reading since I got so much time on the train to like just sit and read for 2 days a week. So hopefully this year goes just as well, although I only have class for about 6 weeks and then I'm supposed to do internship and then I'm done, and I should just hopefully be working and have a lot more time to film and read and do all that fun stuff. So I could have done top 10 for these books, but for me personally, that's a little bit too broad. So I wanted to just narrow it. And these are in no particular order. These are just my favorite books of 2019 that I will reread over and over in the future years to come. And I hope you read them and love them too, or you will read them and love them as much as I do. I know not everyone will, but that's okay. So let's just really quickly go through them and yeah, we'll see what next year holds. I'm pretty excited. We'll start all the way back with one of my very first reads of 2019, which is hard to believe that I read this year. Like, it feels like 2 years ago, but I really only read it in like January, which was 12 months, almost a full year, truly. And that's The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I could summarize this and say why I love this and all that stuff, but I could maybe save that for another video. But I read this on my Kindle in January. I think I stayed up all night to read it till like 4 or 5 in the morning because I loved it. Enemies to lovers is my absolute favorite love trope, 100%. And I just loved this and everything about this, and that I obviously loved to watch. I bought a physical copy and now I have that. I actually did reread this year too. Like, I've read this twice. I have no self-control, but I didn't count the second read to my goal because I don't know, because I'd already read it, so I was like, but I was in a really bad mood that day and I just like reread it in a whole day again. So that is one of my top 5. I know this was a lot of people's like top book of 2018 because that's when it came out, but I didn't get to it then. I got to it this year, so there we go. That's one of them. The second one will also go with, because I read this in the first half of the year, which is Sorcery of Thorns. I read this as an ARC, like digitally. I did get it in the June, which is when it came out this year, but I didn't really read it till like a few days before it was published, and then I didn't actually buy it if you saw my November haul till then. And again, kind of enemies to lovers, like not 100%, but just the standalone fantasy I never knew I needed but can't live without now. So this, I know, was one of the most talked about books this year because of that. I do want to read an Enchantment of Ravens eventually, probably maybe like later next year after I've recuperated from this. I do want to reread this next year, probably again later in the year, because I haven't read like the published version now that I own it. I only read the digital, so it'd be like perfect to do that. And it's a really good length. It's not super long, but it's not super short. So that is another one of my top 5. I also just really love the world building in this, and like Elizabeth and Nathaniel. Just, that's all I have to say. Um, okay, the next one kind of counts as 2 books, but like not really. And that's Crooked Kingdom. I read both Crooked. I'm so glad I finally read this year because I read Six of Crows in the summer, which was a library book. And then I bought Crooked Kingdom, didn't get around to it till December, November. And one of my favorite books ever. I know why everyone raves about them and about these characters. And I'm still mad at myself I didn't read them earlier, like a dumbass, but it's fine. I did love Crooked Kingdom more than Six of Crows, like upon first reading. Now after like sitting, I love Six of Crows so much more for how it sets up Crooked Kingdom. Because when I read Six of Crows and I was like, yeah, like I love this, I enjoy this, but like with Crooked Kingdom, like I loved it. And then now I love Six of Crows even more because of this. And I'm really excited to read King of Scars. I am going to read that this year, or 2020. And I did get the special editions for Christmas. My mom bought me Six of Crows, and my boyfriend bought me the Crooked Kingdom ones. I do have the Six of Crows ones here. It's over there, but I don't feel like getting up. And the Crooked Kingdom one's on the way. So when I get them, I will show them to you. And this is kind of a dual package, but out of the 2, I liked Crooked Kingdom more. So this was my favorite book out of the duology. So this, top 5. Loved it. Absolutely fantastic. Like this duology pushed the Grayson trilogy to shame. Like I'm sorry, but it's like so much better. You could tell Bardugo had like really come into her writing with these ones, and the characters are so well fleshed out and written, and it's so interesting, and the plot, there's twists and turns, and I'm like, oh shit, this is happening, and then you're like, oh shit, this is happening, and it was just fantastic. Jesper, I think, is my favorite out of all of the characters. I obviously do love Kaz so much at his crazy antics. He's so interesting, but Jesper is like that chaotic character. Like Kaz is like truly chaotic evil in the sense of like he does everything for himself and his friends. Actually, no, that's more like chaotic neutral. And Jesper is just like kind of chaotic good. I don't know if I could like truly define them, but like they're both just chaos walking, and it's great. I love all of the characters from the series, obviously, but I think Jesper is my favorite because every time he says shit, I just laugh. And he has such a true heart, but so does Kaz. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So they kind of count as 1 but 2. And then one of my 4th, again, this is in no particular order, is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I actually am surprised that this is one of my favorite books of the year. I didn't expect that going into it, and I know a lot of people hate her writing style in this and don't enjoy it, and considering I didn't love Furyborn, which I also read this year, I'm really pleasantly surprised that this has ended up on my top 5, especially when I was looking at, because I had narrowed it down to a top 10, and I was like, okay, out of these 10, which are my top 5 that I could say definitively are favorite reads of the year? And this is one of them because it's so atmospheric. Her writing is so put together and well thought out in this. The plot was really good, and the characters were so interesting. And also, there's so much queer rep, which I love. So this definitely was great. And since I read this for Spooky Month, it was even more fitting. And I'm super happy that I loved it more than I did. And I think about this book a lot. Like with the monster and with Val and with everything, it's comes back into my, like it returns to my brain quite frequently. And I would love to reread this in the future, and maybe not next year, but like in a few years, and see what I still think then. But for this year, it's definitely one of my top books. And then my last one, which I still don't own a physical copy of, much to my heartbreak, is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. And I'm definitely going to buy a copy of it in the new year. If you want to know why I love this book, go watch my review of it. I know it's a little long, but I talk about it so in depth there, but it's definitely one of my favorite fantasy books ever. And I'm sure the duology will be one of my favorite duologies ever, depending on what happens in the second book, which that's come out in 2020. So a little nervous, but we'll see how that all goes. And I'm looking forward to what she's going to do with it, but that is definitely in my top 5. Obviously, since I ranted and raved about it in my review. So that's pretty good. I have 1 romance and 4 fantasies, but like one's horror, one's like romance fantasy. So I think it's not like super diverse in case of genre. There was a pretty diverse cast of characters, not as much as I thought there would be, but like some honorable mentions as well is definitely Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, aka Shauna Maguire, which is a horror novel about killer mermaids. Also has queer rep, like female, and was super interesting, and it was really hard for me to not put it in my top 5, so it's definitely like would be number 6. And then as well, Failsafe by Anella Dean, which I read at the very beginning of this year, which is really also hard to believe, considering it feels like, was it this year? Yeah. Oh, and The Flat Share, which I do have somewhere. There it is. Honorable mention, The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. Also one of my favorite romances ever. So good. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Let me know what your favorite books of 2019 were and what your thoughts on any of the books that were my favorite books of 2019 are. I could chat in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the new year. Have a safe and happy New Year's Eve. If it's already the new year where you live, I hope it's the best. I'm sure we'll have flying cars very soon. And fix the environment and all of our problems. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video with my 2020 reading plans. Bye!